Hey guys, want to bring you another YouTube video. Ran across an interesting article on Realtor.com. It's titled "Comeback Kids. These housing markets have recovered the most since the start of the pandemic." So I'm just going to scroll and go through some of the things, but I'll also add the link to it so you can read more in details. But I just want to touch base on some of the interesting articles or part of the article because we actually, my wife and I actually have some interesting information regarding that because we did live in those areas. So the first one I want to talk about, because these are what they're saying is these markets were down or slowing down, and then it's actually picked up or recovered since the virus started. So these are the top 10: Boston, Massachusetts, so I don't have any history. Seattle, Washington. We lived about 2.5 hours from Seattle, Washington at the time, and we knew it was more expensive, or it was getting pretty expensive because of the whole Amazon area. So surprisingly, it's still going up. It says 113.73% ever since the pandemic started. And then New York, and there's been lots of talks that the big cities, people are moving away, but it doesn't seem like it if these numbers are correct. New York, Manhattan, looks like 112.74% didn't live there, but just kind of surprised with all the talks. And then Philadelphia, Pennsylvania up there, Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, California. We did live out there for, like I said, I lived and grew up there almost 15 years there. But again, it got very expensive. I got videos regarding why we moved out and all the listed the reasons why. But surprisingly, it's still going up and recovered 109.27%. Los Angeles, California. I went to college in that Southern California area for 3 years, and so that one's also going up. And my sister lives out there, so that's been going up for 108.78%. Now, Las Vegas is where we currently live, which is surprising, where it says 107.71%. That is still going up, but I'll read part of why in the push of what's going on the West Coast. Rochester, New York. I actually had a friend that went back to that part of New York, and actually he's been saying that there are people that's leaving Manhattan, New York, since you could kind of been working remotely, and so now people are looking at Rochester, Albany, different parts of New York, than actually in the city. Memphis, Tennessee, which I'm surprised, 105.9%, which is where my wife grew up and was born. And so I was surprised it's still going up in that area. So I'm going to scroll down because I know I'm more familiar with what's going on. Buyers in pricey Western tech hubs are also heading to the burbs. So, yes, it was very expensive to live in San Francisco. And you can see it says in the tech meccas of Seattle, the nation's second best bounce back market with a median list price of $629,900. And so surprising there. And San Francisco number 6 at $1,054,210. And then Los Angeles $994,150. Buyers also trade for the crowded city for surrounding towns and smaller cities. So there's a lot of suburbs around there that you're going to get more bang for your buck usually. Now, what's going on is the ultra low inventory down by double digits year over year. So even though it's still pretty crowded there, you're still seeing people willing to buy out there because, well, there's not enough inventory. That's what happened with us when we bought our house. It wasn't our dream house, but it was our price range, and you couldn't find anything. There was inventory issues and bidding issues at the time. So obviously, you read right there right now everything that residents love most about San Francisco and other cities, clubs, culture, venues, all the stuff that everybody like in walking distance from your work has pretty much disappeared because people are working at home. You could, and with technology, you get to work anywhere you want for the most part. Uh, and he even says right there, San Francisco is the weakest market in the Bay Area. So it's more of the surrounding area. I know East Bay was going up quite a bit. Sales in the four other outer counties in the lowest population density. So that's probably going to grow and then drive up demand there. Monterey, Santa Cruz, Napa, and Sonoma. Now, I'm surprised Monterey and Santa Cruz, if they have to go in, say, Google next year, they're going to let their employees come back, and same for Facebook, supposedly, where they're working remotely. So if you still have to commute or come back every now and then from Monterey, Santa Cruz, that's almost an hour and a half if there's no traffic. Napa and Sonoma, that's more doable, but that's depends how far up in wine country. In Napa Valley, St. Helena, 4-bedroom house is listed 2 million, almost 3 million. So that's a lot more. Now, here's what it says. Cheaper areas are popular with local and out-of-state buyers. So like Las Vegas housing market has rebounded well from the recession, unlike the last time. So they're saying it's more affordable. People that's working remotely from anywhere is now looking and helping Las Vegas that way. And so the median price is $340,000. And then Memphis, Tennessee, number 10, $260,000. So I'm very surprised how much it's gone up as the median price. These metros had some of the least expensive home prices on our list. Again, those are cheaper if you're coming from pretty expensive places like California, New York, different parts, Washington, even Oregon. You got, and where it says you've got people priced out of California, Colorado, Washington. I would add Oregon on there because if you're coming from Portland, it's pretty pricey there too. And now they're even saying Arizona, so I'm thinking Phoenix has gotten quite expensive. So they're looking for cheaper mortgages and large space for less money. They are building a lot out here. This helps explain why Vegas, which was one of the poster children for everything that went wrong in the past recession, has rebounded so quickly. So they learn from their past mistakes. And so if they continue to add jobs, and there's a lot of jobs in the construction industry out here. There's a lot of construction projects out here. Even though they just finished the Las Vegas Raiders stadium, they still have a lot of projects. Infrastructures are going up quite a bit. I haven't seen houses slow down or anything on building. People are still snatching up, but I think there were more coming from California for the most part for the people that I usually meet too. And so it says also here, Memphis is also getting a rush of buyers to edge one another out for the limited number of homes on the market in roomy suburbs like Germantown. My wife says Germantown is very close to Memphis, so that's usually like the really nice. You could think of it like the version of San Francisco to Memphis as Oakland in that sense. Because those for them to say 3-bedroom home for $419,000 for a 4-bedroom home is $595,000, and if it just flew out in the market for 4 days, that's quite pretty fast. So she still has family in that area in Germantown, so they're probably doing well. Especially those houses back then, from what her family bought, was probably under $150,000 at the time. So that's a nice return there. So overall, you're seeing that more people are probably going to look at, because again, Vegas, for going back to California to visit family, you could get a cheap flight, especially before the pandemic. So, and there's always constant flights, especially with everything going on, you can still probably catch a flight. But if you want to be safe, you could drive to California, like Los Angeles or anything like that, in 4 hours. And if you need to go to San Francisco, Bay Area, that's 8 hours. No, yeah, about 8 hours. And then I usually, if I go visit my parents in Fresno, I could get home about 6.5 to 7 hours. So San Diego again is about 4 hours too. So let me know what you think, especially if you live in any of those cities. Are you thinking of leaving more of the expensive places like California's, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, New York, especially if you have the option because you can work remotely now, especially if your company allows it. Go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and so that way more people could see the video. Thanks.